You may not be able to tell in the great state of Texas right now because it's still in the high 80s, but fall is flung. It's here. And one of my favorite things to do every single year is to decorate for Harry Potter night. Now, a Harry Potter night for us has turned into more of like a Harry Potter season, which basically means dark academia meets fall decor meets very hidden subliminal, if not very direct messaging, correlating to and or akin to the overall glorious wizarding world. Hi, if you're new here, my name is JamiewOlfer, and every single year I decorate my home for a singular Harry Potter party evening, and then we just leave it up for an extended period of time. But of course, being an event planner by trade, every single year I have to add just a little bit to the overall decor. So that's today's video. We've got a couple of rudimentary arts and crafts. We'll call them DIYs for the sake of the video, but they're really quite simple. And then basically just an explosion of Harry Potter core all over my entire house. And I know what you're thinking, Jamie, does your husband even like Harry Potter? He doesn't have a choice. He doesn't have a choice. So without further ado, let's just jump right on into it. Look at this. I got a whole collection of the most glorious, those are all upside down, the most glorious waterproof satin finish little labels for potion bottles. Are you kidding me? You better shut your mouth when you're talking to me. That's what I gotta say. There's a whole other set of ones from Honeydukes. Look at these. It's so cute. Here's some sugar skulls. Like, look at this one. See, this is what I'm talking about. Like, really well done visuals. Occasionally you'll get one that's just a little bit cheesier. So obviously we will not be using those, okay? Because we don't have room for cheese. I mean, we always have room for cheese, but not in our branding and our theming, okay? Not there. We got cheese everywhere else. Just not in our branding or in our theming or in our decorations. Am I taking this too far by calling this a DIY? Yeah, I sure am, because they're really cool stickers. But I think what makes these stand out so much more, in my opinion, is the jars, which are also in the last video that I posted. I got a majority of them from Dollar General, Dollar Tree, and the thrift store, and all the rest of them are ones that I've hoarded over the years and finally have the perfect excuse to continue my glass hoarding habit. In case this wasn't painfully apparent already, we will have potions bottles all throughout the home, as well as a dedicated Honeydukes candy area, which delight my kids to no end. Most of them are pretty straightforward, although a few of them require just a little bit more elbow grease to pull off. You've already seen probably us doing some of these jars, and by us I mean me. But right now, Olivia and I are trying to figure out, we are taking this very seriously. Oh, they're already seeing the Honeydukes behind you. We haven't done that reveal yet. It's fine. So, this is the one time we're being a jar and or a bottle. Jeez. Bottle hoarder is paying off. But Olivia remembered that we had these from last year, and it is literally perfect. Okay, you do the reveal because you, my genius little child. Look at that. That looks so good. And then we have these. And did I go thrifting again yesterday? Sure did. Sure did. And I got 6 more of these bottles, and I already had some at home. We have 9 of these left, which just makes me so happy to have like a matching set. And we also have... Can you put the bottle down, baby? We also have these that fit perfectly on the spice jars that I have been hoarding. Look at that. It's literally like 6 of them, and they look so legit. I do want the lids to match, but that's a tomorrow problem. That's not a right now problem.
Exactly. These should go on the same because the lids are similar. So even if we paint them. Anyway, on to the montage.
Cue the montage. Ready, set, go. Parenting hack. Use crafts as a means of bonding, especially when you raise your children up from a very young age to be obsessed with the same things that you are, because it will make the work lighter and it will make the experience a lot more joyful. So you're not doing all the stickers by yourself for a Harry Potter party that you've convinced your kids for them and their friends, but really, deep down, it's for you. So you can live out your childhood dream of attending Hogwarts in your pajamas in your very own home. See what I'm saying? Some of these bottles are just so perfectly shaped. They're literally begging to be made into potions bottles, and I will not be hearing otherwise. I do love that this video is turning out to be, part vlog style, part like DIY style. Honestly, we're just going with the flow, with the time that I have to be able to film stuff. Speaking of time that I have available to film stuff, Elias just took all the kids, all 4 of them, to drop the big girls off at a birthday party, which means I am now completely by myself with crafting supplies already out. So here's what I'm gonna go ahead and do. Obviously, I might have shown this. It's a very boring clip, to be fair, but I already painted the base of this black, and I will be doing a rub and buff over the top of that, just to like give it like a antique-y, obviously, vibe flair. And I'll be using like a little rough, natural, that's got it's got something on it, to get in the groove details, to really I think the kids use that for clay, and I don't know why they would have, but it's got clay on it. To get the details of the little bumblebees to really pop for the Fizzing Whizbees. And then I have these from like a really, really old video, but I think Amelia fell in love with these like a year ago or whatever, and then they all ran around the house. They're little name tag holders, little pumpkins, but I was wondering if, because I already have a pumpkin juice container, if I rub and buff the gold on the top and then hot glue this on top, and then just like, it's like a vibe, you know what I mean? I do wish the pumpkin juice sticker was a little bit bigger. It is what it is. So let's move this shindig to the couch, because I've got the flue powder lid to do, because it cannot be silver. Like, on what planet would someone have a fresh silver lid on their flute? This is well used by wizarding families across the world, okay? So we need to like age this, but also I can't find my rub and buff black. First world problems. Okay, cue the next montage. Now that we're moving on to the painting, antiquing genre of things, the first thing I'm gonna do is actually start to put together our Skele-Gro bottle. This is gonna be super rudimentary in comparison to some of the ones you see online, and honestly, I'm a-okay with that. But all of the bottles you see from the movie and online, in fact, you could purchase them pre-made online, are white. So I'm actually just gonna go ahead and do this with a white acrylic paint, simply because, not that one, because it's not coming out, because I don't mind the matte finish, but I am, of course, going to put this on first, because I'm worried it won't stick on top of the paint if I do that second. So one thing I'm trying to do when I do these, this is so like extra and you don't need to do this, but I try to find where the seams are so it looks a little bit more believable. This is a little like lip at the bottom, so I'm gonna go ahead and flip it on this side. And I will stick this on and get to painting. And then I have to figure out if I want to rub and buff this, because there is like a little bit of a gold lid on it, before I put the top half of our skeleton on. But first, we paint. Of course, if you're throwing your own Harry Potter party, you can throw your money at buying one of these Skele-Gro bottles instead. But when I figured out that I could hack this number really, really quickly, you can bet your bottom dollar I am going to be saving that. This is actually an old coffee syrup bottle that I saved. I'm telling you, you will find a use for almost every single bottle that you hold on to. And then this, of course, was that bright, obnoxious yellow honeybee hive situation that we were turning it into the container for the Fizzing Whizbees. And I think it looks so much more chic with just a little zhuzh, a little gold, a little sparkle to it. But you know, don't we all? For my next trick, we combined the powers of Etsy and the powers of Walgreens to give us art. AKA using the same exact portrait of Dumbledore that literally everybody uses when they do this sort of thing. But hey, I didn't have one yet. And I also was really particular about wanting him and this other epic little sketch print that I found to fit into pre-existing frames. Now, sticky tack. Thought it'd be brilliant. Not so much. Dumbledore kept trying to yeet himself out of the stratosphere and fell onto the ground on multiple occasions. So he's no longer with us. He's wrapped up and put away. So if anyone has a better idea for how to affix this onto a painting, you know, the heirloom painting I inherited from my grandparents who passed away without ruining the painting, let me know. If not, I will be buying a new frame to put him in because he's just so stinking cute. If there's one thing about me,
Your girl loves a subtle art moment. Like, I want people to be like, oh, that's a really cool sketch of a castle. And only when they look at it much more closely to go, wait a minute, is that Hogwarts? It just reads so much more chic, in my opinion. And now for arguably the creepiest but most DIY of the DIYs that we have here. If you haven't been around my channel for a minute, then you may or may not know that I love framed bugs. That might be the first time I've said it out loud in that sentence framework and capacity, but hear me out. There is something so cool about a butterfly or a beetle framed in a shadow box. And you might not agree with me, but those who know, okay? Look at this. Look at this gorgeous, I think it's a swallowtail. So pretty, so lovely, also so expensive. If you order these through any sort of curator, I've ordered many from this one Bug Under Glass seller on Etsy. Love them, perfection, also so expensive. So when I discovered this little hacky poo for using a hot glue stick, cutting off a little bit of it, and gluing it onto the paper backing of the frame, and then also gluing the specimen to the top of that, you create the most perfect, especially when you look at it from a dead-on angle and not at all from the side at all, where you can see a little bit of the glue stick. Okay, you might want to cut yours shorter than I did. You create the most perfect shadow box butterfly of all time at a fraction of the cost. So I did. And I kept going. And I kept going. And I kept going. I don't know what to tell you. These are probably going to be year-round permanent decor in my house. Why? Because I already have a bunch of butterflies as year-round permanent decor in my house. And while a wee bit unconventional, I do feel as though the scorpion does indeed slap. Anywho, on to the decorating. We have our Hagrid's Hippogriff pumpkin patch pile, say all of that 10 times fast, which lasted for a minimum of 15, maybe 20 minutes until the toddler woke up from her nap and proceeded to kick them across the room. Now, when it comes to artwork, I didn't just stop with Dumbledore, okay? I wanted to have house banners represented, but all of the ones that any sort of costume store or any sort of like movie-specific ones, any ones that they sell are so flipping cheesy, it makes my skin crawl. So, of course, when I found these on Etsy, I added those babies to cart so fast I almost broke my keyboard. And again, got them printed up at our local Walgreens, which ended up being really cost-effective. I feel like they always have a coupon going on. And so by using these magnetic poster frames, it still gives the appearance of a banner without being the cheesy merchandise that you get at your local Halloween store, you know, the one that pops up in an abandoned parking lot once a year, that one. Another section we're adding this year is the restricted section. These cheapy little chains we got from one of the dollar stores ended up being perfectly sized for our bookshelf that we already have existing in our family room.
Thanks, baby. You're so helpful. I'm so helpful. Help.
Mama, help, baby. Baby.
Come here, baby. Come on.
So then it was just a matter of picking out the right potion bottles and the creepiest bugs to display to frighten all of my children's friends. Even though they didn't even walk over, they didn't even notice them. They didn't see them. Okay, this is more for me than it is for them. Let's be real here. And you can't tell me that didn't come together like an absolute boss. The combination of the potions bottles with the bugs and the books that, yes, I turned backwards, okay? Because some of them don't fit with the vibe. So we had to turn them around so the colors blended together better. The eagle-eyed viewers at home will have already noticed that this is post-yeet Dumbledore. But my oldest, Olivia, decided to create a little Quidditch section. We got 2 of these hoops, which I am led to believe that they might be for some sort of Quidditch-style beer pong. And a Nimbus 2000 from our local Goodwill. You can't tell me that we didn't strike gold that day. As well as our little Skele-Gro guide to kind of complete the whole vibe. Next up, I really, in my core, need a vintage medicine cabinet that I can bring out once a year and only once a year for these potion bottles, okay? But all I've got in the meantime is this rusty, crusty, delicious crate that creates the most beautiful anchor shelving moment to display a lot more of these vintage bottles. And now, had we given ourselves a little bit more time, I would have gone through and painted more of those lids, because let's be real, the jam jar with the red and white checker print, not vibin', okay? Not vibin'. But the little guy with his arm around the random lady, definitely vibing. So you win some and you lose some. I can't even begin to tell you the level of detail that we went through when it came to selecting the candies for each and every single one of these jars, but trust me when I say we got so particular that if you slowed down this video and paid attention to every single candy in every single jar, you'd be clapping right now.
Oh, hi, it's Olivia, and I just wanted to show you how I made the boxes real quick. So what I just ended up doing is taking like a random empty Amazon box that we just have like, that we'll have like lying around the house, and we had this like brown paper. So I just Christmas wrapped it, and then I looked online about like the owl post stuff, and so I did the to and from. I put like a little post-it on there, and I saw this and I was like, oh, I have to do that on one of these boxes. I ended up grabbing some twine, just one long strip of it, going around and twisting, making it meet right here, and I tied a nice little bow on it, and then I went the extra mile, got some hot glue on it, and then painted red over it, and then slapped it face down on a mat so it would come out flat and smooth. Since not everybody has like those wax stamps, I was like, oh, you know what, this is like a fun little DIY. It's cheaper than the wax stamps, and this is how they turn out. Ended up making this one's obviously a lot bigger. It's not perfect. Again, I did the paint it red, but when you're at a distance, it looks pretty legit. But yeah, just wanted to show you. You can make this at home real easily. Just want to show you how I did that. Thank you.
I just love this kid so much. She literally designed this entire thing by herself after I told her that I didn't have time to help her with it, so she figured it out on her own. Are those feathers from our chickens outside? Yeah. Did she pull them out of the chicken to make this happen? I don't think so. I think she found them that way. No chickens were harmed in the making of this owl post, but in the end, I gotta admit, the kid created the cutest little corner, as well as the most perfect howler I have ever laid my eyes upon. Homegirl went as far as to find the correct fonts and everything. Is this my kid, or is this my kid? So that's what we have for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this inspires you to get a little creative, a little fun for your fall decor this year. Anything that I can think of, I will go ahead and link in the description box down below, should you want to recreate any of these DIYs for yourself. And until next time, bye guys!